It was probably natural causes, but we should question the Iron Sheik just in case. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on the choice of mandate. You get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Elaine Culotti's back in the studio again. She's the grande dame of the Palisades. She knows everything. Back for an update. So we're still on the case. We're going to meet with Rick Caruso and walk through the Palisades with him. Of course, we did our vlog with Elaine. People can find at adamcarolla.com. People seem to be very interested in what's going on because I travel the country constantly, and I go out on weekends, and I'm in Wisconsin. I'm at the racetrack at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and then I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Pabst Theater, and people come up to me and they go, well, watch the vlog, interested? Thanks for keeping the vlog on. So Elaine is fighting the good fight.
Hi.
It's good
Yeah,
to see you again.
I mean, endless energy to keep it going.
Well, yes.
I was told by top executives in our city council and senators that some of the people in the upper part of our government have moved on.
Well, they got to fight ICE.
Right, they're down there. They're doing that.
They're doing the Lord's work,
and they're trying to figure out what happened to all our money,
protecting illegals. And yeah, okay. So many subjects. One is the $100 million raised for the victims for the concert, the charity concert. Where is that? Or does anyone know?
Well, yeah, I mean, they track some of it. So, it's the age-old, I think, 2020 to 2028 issue that we have middlemen behind every single disbursement of money. NGOs, nonprofits.
Yes.
And the money has gone to these NGOs and nonprofits, and one of them is Blue, whatever, Gavin Newsom's PAC.
Right.
And then they use that money. I mean, sure, they're supposed to give it to the people in the Palisades, but they don't.
Well, I mean, let me give you guys an analogy.
I
Mayhem.
went to that concert and they stole my $150.
You did?
It's gone.
Yeah. Gone. Evaporated.
Let me explain. Let me use one of my metaphors, which I'm so beloved and adored for. And I'll put it in terms that you non-gearheads can understand. Let me tell you how life works. Here's how life works. You can have a Corvette with a 500 horsepower souped up engine in your Corvette, right? But that's 500 horsepower. That's what the engine makes. You still have to get that to the rear wheels of the Corvette to go down the quarter mile, right? Now, if the engine's got 500 horsepower, you're not going to get 505 horsepower out of the rear wheels. Some gets scrubbed off through the transmission, the differential. There's an apparatus. And if you're doing good, you're making 435 horsepower, 450 to the rear wheels. That's fine. There's always going to be a little scrub off. If you raise $100 million, you still have to scrub some off to people you need to pay to physically. It's like, all right, we raised $100 million. Right, but the roadies who worked the show still got paid.
Hey, that venue is pretty janky.
We had to pay the venue. And now we have the money in our account, but we have to distribute the money and we need accounting. And so out of the 500 horsepower engine, we're going to scrub some off to the rear wheel. But if someone said we have a 500 horsepower engine and we're making 13 horsepower to the rear wheel, you'd go, okay, what the fuck is up? Like, what's going on with the transmission? Yeah. What's going on with the rear end? What's broken in this process? A certain amount scrubbed off, fine, that's doing business. But no one sees any money coming out. Nothing ever goes out the rear. Nothing makes it to the rear wheels.
Zero.
So
and that concert was trash.
That's a problem.
Well, also all the people that did the show donated their time.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm sure, they went out of their way to pay their roadies and all the facilities, Live Nation, Clearmount. I mean, all these people donated their time, and they're also saying, "Hey, what happened to the money?"
Fred Armisen killed it, but the rest of the show sucked.
Wait, I have another question. This is a weird one, but I just want to understand this because I'm really confused by it. But so, in order to get your house cleaned by Army Corps of Engineers and FEMA, you had to opt in.
Not your house cleaned, but your property.
Debris,
your property.
your burned out garbage on your
right. I saw this. And then there was some type of penalty that if you didn't or...
No, you opt in, and in the opt-in, you had to forfeit your debris removal insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
All right. Now, it's $25,000 with California Fair Plan.
The minimum insurance or the minimum price, you mean?
The minimum debris removal insurance.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I don't know. I got prices to remove the debris, which was sort of somewhere, I think, 30 or 40 on the low end and maybe 70, 80 on the high end, depending on how big your lot was or the difficulty of accessing things and stuff like that. But that was sort of the price that was given.
So insurance only covered $25,000 of that anyway.
Well, yeah, and in your insurance policy, so they're all broken down, right? If you have a private policy, you might have $150,000 of debris removal insurance. California Fair Plan being kind of a little janky, it was $25,000, whatever.
Right, not enough.
You gotta. When you sign up to opt in, you've got to you pledge your debris removal insurance to Army Corps or whoever's doing the cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is just a simple one, and I feel like we have the right to ask this: is where is that money?
Right.
Because it's got to be close to $400 million by now. And I'm just curious, like, where is it? How does it get? Does it go? Because FEMA's not picking it up because FEMA's donating and paying, and FEMA's funded, right?
Right.
And the whole thing is like they can't do any improvements. They can only do repairs because only repairs are paid for by FEMA.
Yeah, I mean,
where's
some
the
of
money?
it. Listen, there's going to be a lot of where's the money, and I'll tell you.
Where's Waldo?
There is the thing about that you'll know about, which is the city. They just keep regulating and expanding, and then here's a pretty simple thought. Back in the day, I used to teach comedy traffic school. Back in the day, if you got a ticket, you could either pay the ticket or you could pay $20 and go to traffic school, and they'd pull the ticket off your record. Mm-hmm. Now, if you get a ticket, you pay the ticket and you pay the traffic school, and because that's how the city works.
Yeah, they got hip to it.
They just go, why are we letting these people off with the $80 they owe us back then? Make them pay us and make them pay. And when it comes to building, they didn't have deputy inspectors when I started in building. The building and safety had building inspectors, and they got paid by the city. And when you got your permits and they charged you whatever they charged you for all the permitting, then you would call for inspection and these guys would come out. Well, now if you have welding or some other specialty or something like that, you have to hire your own deputy inspector, which are not paid for by the city or by your permit. You pay them. They give you a certificate. You take it to the city. So meaning the city's like constantly growing, expanding, and then farming shit out. They're never cutting you a break. They're just doing less. And they figured out, just like the traffic school, you pay the ticket, you pay the traffic school, you pay the permit, and you pay the deputy inspector. And they're
paywall, microtransactions,
right. And it turns out
microtransactions.
it's just money everywhere.
So expensive. Grading inspectors are really expensive.
Are they deputy? Oh, you have to get a grade. You have to get a soils report,
That's right.
grading. Right.
You gotta have, and the grading guy is different than the metal guy, who's different than the cement guy.
So what is the solution? AI consolidation where they figure out?
I mean, honestly,
because that's really
we're
over here complaining, but the
cool.
reality is they need to solve it so that it doesn't go back this way, and there's a whole new city to build.
Well, I mean, I think that the most important thing is to take a page out of some of the other cities in the United States that are large that have privatized the inspection business and allowed you to hire your own plan checkers and do your own plan checking. And you basically bring a package in and they sign off on the package. Oh. And in our case, in the Palisades, we need our own building department. We need the Pacific Palisades Department of Building and Safety. I've actually gotten a space donated to do this. The problem is that, I can't hire city workers. They have to give them to me. We can pay for them to be staffed, but they've got to let them come there.
Yeah.
They've got to allow us. And what that would do is that would give familiarity because we could have a help center with people that haven't built homes before.
Yeah. The process is daunting. It's overwhelming. by the way, you're dealing with the same city. I've been trying to get hold of a real fucking ID for 9 months now. I was informed that the closest time I could get my real, I'm traveling with my passport, but it's giving me anxiety because I almost left I took a private flight to Milwaukee, and I was walking out the door because it's a private flight, and I don't care. What do I care? And then I was like, oh shit, my passport, because I'm not getting back. Yeah. I'm flying commercial back,
you can't get
right?
back on, yeah.
I talked to my assistant, September is the earliest time they can get me in to the DMV. And we've been trying for 6 months. That's the whole point. You want these fucking people in charge of rebuilding the Palisades? I mean, it's the same group. It's the same bunch of brainless fucking clogs who are they're not incentivized to work or do anything better than what they're doing. So, no, we don't want more of that applied. I don't want it applied to the school system. I don't want it applied to the DMV. I don't want it applied to Department of Building and Safety. I don't want it applied anywhere. And yes, it's going to take people like you, Elaine, and other folks who are motivated. They're not motivated. They don't live in the Palisades. They don't care about you and your fucking burnt out lot. They don't give a shit about any of it. They never do. Just the person who's working TSA is telling you to take your belt off and go stand over there. They don't work for American Airlines. They're TSA. They don't give a fuck whether you make your flight. They don't care whether you make your flight or not.
The liquid thing. Think of all the full bottles of like wonderful makeup and hair
all my foundation, my rouge, my kissing potion, all
gone
in a dumpster. I had a guy. I traveled with a guy.
Chanel.
I had a guy at an expensive bottle of cologne. The cologne was like 5 ounces, but the max is 3.5. But he was showing him it's like less than half full.
Oh,
and the guy goes, well, all right, you don't have to throw it away, but take it to that trash can and just spritz it like 25. Like literally, just
3 ounces of Sauvage.
Sauvage.
Oh, my God. Well, he got lucky because normally they just confiscate it.
Well, so here's the point. Do we want this mentality tasked with rebuilding the Palisades? No, we do not. We need people like you and Rick Caruso and other smart, motivated people to do things like, yes, there's no reason why anyone who lives in the Palisades should be heading to Van Nuys or downtown L.A., or Santa Monica. I don't know where the building department is.
There's a West LA, but you can't do grading. You got to go downtown.
Right. The whole point is they need they need a building with everyone like.
Get this, the one stop. Okay, so the one stop they made for the fires, about 1,500 people have gone through it. I got all the math on it. 88 permits have been let, and about 18 to 20 of those are in the Pacific Palisades. So basically, all the big developers that have been stuck, they're like, let's go to this one-stop thing and let's get our permits done while everybody's helping, in one stop. It's not like these individual homeowners are barely getting out of the, ashes to try to figure out what they're going to do. And unfortunately, the one-stop then, it's going to get abused by all the people that have really been waiting years and years to get permits done. And it's great to have it, but it's not for us. It needs to be for us,
Yeah. And anyway, Karen Bass cares much more about dignity and illegals being treated with dignity than she does about building shit because she's a process person. So she's going to be of no help. And also, I don't know where some of these people are at. They're somewhere between doesn't care and doesn't want. Like, I don't even know if she wants people to rebuild over there, but she certainly doesn't really give a shit. But that's not what she's interested. That's not where her interests lie. Now, there's a vid of somebody squatting. I don't know if you saw that video of a guy filming squatters.
And who's the kid that used to be married to that girl Heidi that was talking about it?
Spencer Pratt.
Yes. Oh my God, he's really went after that thing.
The video's fun. It's a young guy.
Oh, that's Luke. I love Luke.
You love Luke?
Oh my God, yeah, we should call him.
What's Luke doing?
He's a contractor, but he's always got his boots on the ground. You should have him in. He's hilarious. He's super cute too. God love Luke. Hi, Luke.
Man, it's like you're talking about me. All right, here we go.
Here is the latest insanity over here in the LA fire zones. Squatters are overtaking vacant lots that burn down. Like this one right behind me here. This guy set up a whole campsite and I guess actually went down to the DMV, listed this as his address on his driver's license, and the property owner can't get them off. The police even showed up and they said, we can't do anything about it. It's got to go to the courts. Here's another one right behind me. This is two right across the street from each other, squatters who have overtaken these properties and the homeowners cannot get them off of the site. So if you're in Pacific Palisades or Altadena, I'd get some security fencing up right away, or you might lose your property to a vagrant, and the county isn't going to do anything to help you.
That vagrant got his real ID.
Oh, yeah. He was in line in front of me. Yeah, okay. So here's
What
how
the
it works.
hell?
The city doesn't care.
What in
they
the
don't
hell?
care, so
Luke,
they're not gonna
are
do
you
anything.
sure?
Well, it's not like anything's happening over there anyway.
Oh,
Just-
no,
the
no,
guy
no,
can
that's
sit
not.
there.
That is
Where-
very bad. That is very. You know. There's this. I went to this big like town hall meeting, and I met our Senator Ben Allen. Have you heard of him?
No.
So he's a pretty interesting guy, and he's the one that kind of wrote the whole bill to get the money to do infrastructure, and it was tagged into this bill about having low income housing. And it got,
right.
I think it's 516 or something like that.
Everyone is. So here's so that people know. There's an ongoing battle. So I lived in La Cunada, California for a long time. And anyone there, like Mark Garagos, the attorney, will tell you that California has been battling to put low-cost housing in La Cunada because there are no apartments and there's no... Because, you want that low-cost housing because you want to step out of your home and you want to look at balconies with busted-up kids' toys and beach towels hanging off it. That's how you always know you're in a great neighborhood when
so you
people
feel
are
real.
doing like when they use the balcony as storage essentially. So it just looks like junk on every balcony, but lots of towels
Air
hanging
conditioning
around.
units that are leaning.
Yes. So
Bicycle rack.
the good people of you see mountain bikes,
Ski equipment.
You see shit up there. It's always sad when I see the kids' castle toy thing out there. But anyway,
Sun bleached.
it's always the poor people always shoving shit out on their balcony. But no one in La Cunada wants that, so they fight and fight and fight. Now, what Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass, their idea of utopia is all the poor people just get to move into my house and live with me because that's what's fair, according to them. So they're always pushing to get low-cost housing. And my thing about like low-cost housing is I get it. Like, I know a lot of people that can't afford houses and they're younger or they make less money or whatever, but they don't need to live in Malibu. They can live in Sherman Oaks, or they don't need to live in La Cunada. They can live in Van Nuys. Like, build the shit there where those people live. You can't shove them into the Palisades. It's not. And by the way, it's not going to work. It's like when they go, oh, we're going to get this kid, he's from an indigenous tribe or whatever, his SAT scores are 400, but we'll shove him into Harvard and that'll be great. It's like, no, he's not going to flourish in Harvard. He needs to go to state school. Where'd you go again?
ASU.
That's
I went
where
to a
that
party
kid's
school.
That's what I'm saying. That kid's a San Diego State material.
I remember
He's not
going in there. They're like,
Harvard.
"What's your major?" I go, "What do you have left?" I mean, I don't know. Whatever. It wasn't that, all my kids are USC. And it's just such a drill in the private schools. I am literally a year away from not paying for private school for the first time in 30 years.
You got a motor on you, man.
Unbelievable.
All right, so now they want to do low-cost housing wherever they can, and this is a window of opportunity for them to go, hey, you guys are building shit, right? Yeah. Okay. Because you're not going to be able to go in there and tell Mark Garagos, move out of your house, we're building low-cost housing. But what if Mark Garagos' neighborhood burns down? Then they go, okay, Mark, instead of you rebuilding, how about we put some shitty apartments here? So is that what's going on with the Palisades?
Well, so what I got from Ben Allen is that the bill that was written was actually already written and kind of had gone through Senate. So they don't have the money in City Council to rewrite all these bills. It's very expensive. So what they did is they took an old bill and they combined new stuff and they put it together and it blew up. Everyone's like, they're trying to do local, and he was trying to defend it and he couldn't. And so he's the one that kicked it to next year. And he'd be a great guy for you to have on because he can explain to you how difficult it is to get any legislation passed that would aid in putting funds directly into the Pacific Palisades for infrastructure. That was his attempt. I think he was well-meaning. I think it just didn't. It blew up, and it caused such a riff. And he's pretty upset about it. I mean, I talked to him, and he's like, people don't understand how complicated it is. But these bills get written. They get passed, they get pushed, these initiatives we don't want, and then they become sort of a stack that you can make legislative changes to. Mm-hmm. And that's how you have to do it. You put things in and pull them out, put things in and pull them out. And that's kind of like pork belly, or whatever they call it. Yeah. You're constantly changing something. And this poor guy.
To sneak that in there with that. But is there any like collective bargaining going on with the people who live? I figure a lot of people of wealth who have these places, that have burned down can band together and sort of make a lot of change because they have a lot of resources at their fingertips.
The issue is that because government's fully funded by taxpayers in every single state, that the only way that you can really have a lot of pull is to kind of control your taxes. If you control your taxes as a city, right, then you have more power because they're trying, especially Palisades. It's like $500 million of property tax annually. So it's really huge compared to like East LA where it's like 18 million or whatever. Okay. It's like very big difference. Yeah. So for Pacific Palisades to be like an independent city through de-annexation or succession or something like that would be like a nightmare for the city. But that's the only way you take back your power. And so that's my idea is like, why don't we just de-annex, like put a little border around the 90272 and just start pitching a fit? We can easily get on the docket for that. The Palisades would sign off on that because people just want to have some power, some say. We are in this huge Los Angeles metropolis, and our money is unfairly distributed to areas of LA that have problems that we don't have. And then if we say we want that money, then we're elitist. So it's kind of a nightmare. But at the end of the day, Altadena should do it, and so should Eaton. And so, because if you don't have any power over your property tax, especially, then you don't have power over police department, schools, fire department, and infrastructure. Those are the things that property taxes pay. So if you have this outrageous, huge lump sum that you dump in, you're not going to get that back into your streets. Yeah. And right now, if there was ever a time we need it, it's right now. And instead, we get mansion tax. It's the exact opposite. They're like, we're going to charge you, for your burnt out lot, 5%, or.
Wow. Are you in the mansion tax zone?
Oh, yes. You will pay ULA. Let's not call it mansion tax. Let's call it what it is. It's a total boondoggle scam.
Yeah, it's
a levy. Okay. Yeah. So this levy, goes into your sale as a transaction. So transactional. So if your lot's worth more than $5 million, you're done. And I have seen multiple lots on the market that used to be worth $7, $8 million. They're selling them for $4,999,000 because they don't want to pay it.
Yes.
So, it's
and also the thing that drives me nuts about the government is they go the wrong direction with stuff, which is, I'll misquote it a little, but if it's more than $5 million, you pay 4%. If it's more than $10 million, you pay 5.5%. It's like, no. Everything else works the other direction, which is why you're already paying a lump more at 10, at 4% than you are at $5 million. Why is it going up? It's like, well, here's what I'm saying. The sanest places you'll ever deal with are like car auctions, because car auctions have to deal with pure reality and gravity all the time. Like, I could start a car auction company and I'd go, I want 25%. And everyone would go, fuck you. I'm going up the street to Gooding or RM or Sotheby's or Mecum. I'll go anywhere. I'm not going to pay you. First off, you have to be realistic with your VIG, number one. Number two, they'll do stuff where it's like, if the car sells for under, $100,000, you pay 12.5%. But if it goes for over 100,000, you pay 10%, and if it goes over 10 million, we'll just charge 5%. They go go the direction that makes sense. If any car company, any auction company goes, look, here's our thing. So we do 10% on cars under 100,000, but if you go over $1 million, it's 15%. If you sell for more than 10 million, it's 25%. People go, are you fucking nuts? No. But this is the government. Like, why they even go that direction is weird. Like, and they incentivize everyone to then go, I'm going to get in just under the bar at $4,999. 9, whatever.
Well, they're running a business that none of them are business people.
Right, but then they go, why don't you pay your fair share? And it's like, well, hold on. If a school teacher pays in $8,000 a year in taxes and I pay in $8,000 a day in taxes, then your plan is I pay in $10,000 a day of taxes?
Yeah, you gotta pay more.
My argument would be I should pay less, not more. That's their plan. It's weird. And that also fooled a lot of dumb, poor people into going along with it, which is the sad part. And it's really Rich Whitey's fault.
Well, also then you've got this huge government.
People are scared. I don't want to be called. I don't want to say anything.
Right, but you're building the size of the government through that process.
Yeah, so it's all a shit show. And all LA and California is ahead of where everyone else is probably going one day. And so we're just a little shit experiment. Like, we do the experiments. Like, what if we defunded the police and had clean injection zones in the park? Okay, let's do that experiment.
Whoa.
And then Arkansas can look at us and go, okay, don't do that shit. That shit's not going to work. We're not going to have any of that. We're the canary in the fucking coal mine for all the bad ideas that can never work. Mansion tax. Ugh.
Did I break this?
Yeah, always. There's a plug right there.
You're referring to the jack on your headphone, I think.
Yeah.
Someone come help her.
Dawson's going to have to do.
Oh, Dawson?
You don't even need it. You don't need it right now. He'll fix it. Just keep going.
Can I keep talking and you can hear me and I just can't hear myself?
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't really want to hear myself, to be quite honest.
Well, you got your wish.
So now, how many? I told Andrew to go on Zillow. I'll take mine off, and he pulled up tons of lots.
Like 380, right?
Properties, just tons and tons of properties.
So 380 or 90 was on the market, 180 something had sold, and they said that more than 75% of the lots that sold
Really?
sold to Palisadians upgrading.
Who are they selling to?
Palisadians upgrading.
Palisadians upgrading.
Man, that sounds like a great movie.
That's awesome.
People live in the Palisades, upgrading their lot.
Yeah.
To a better elevation or better view or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the lion's share of the sell.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good.
That's awesome.
So then what about the other 25% or whatever?
They're either sitting or developers are trying to steal them or lump them together or grab them,
Well, they're
Every day.
They're sold, right? They're sold to develop. We're talking about
probably,
lots sold.
Yeah, probably sold to developers and people that just think that there's some way, maybe even individuals that think there's an advantage to not paying very much.
And the lots it looked to me on the low end about 1.5 and on the high end getting more like 3.5 in the price for the lot.
These are
Really
burnout
sold
lots,
for a lot of
you
money.
mean?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
what it's going for.
I haven't even figured out if there's a rental market. I mean, no one's really moved back in. You can't move back in until they clean everything.
And you think as a builder, and Elaine's a great builder, good eye,
thanks, Adam.
knows stuff, speaks the language.
Thank you.
Smart, good ideas. I just walked her through my house I was working on, and I you know what I thought when you left. I thought, oh, thank God we did this because you had so many great ideas, and I tell people all the time. Whenever I would remod a house or work on a house, I would get as many eyeballs on it as I could. There couldn't be Karen Bass is not going to help in this process. She's dumb, but I'm saying get people like Elaine and get people that are good at this stuff. And you just walk them through and you just go, what would you do? What would you do? And they go, I would do. And like half their ideas are bad, but the other half are like, oh, that's genius. Oh, yeah. Like really good ideas. So Elaine has a good eye, but a lot of that also is based on a lot of experience and doing lots of remods. And we've talked about before, and I know your stuff is real high-end stuff, but if you're just building, let's say you bought one of these lots, and you've talked about doing volume and stuff, but if you just bought one single lot and you're just doing it on spec, and you're like, I'm going to build a reasonable home that I could sell, flip, and make some money. Would it be $1,000 a square foot?
Oh gosh, if it was a flat lot, maybe you could do it for $1,200 to $1,500.
That much.
But if you've got any kind of caissons or walls,
Right.
And all that stuff's compromised from the fire, so you've also got the demo still left.
So if you got a flat lot, fine. If you're going to have to start doing a lot of foundation stuff and drilling into bedrock and everything, then it's going to cost. It's going to cost you more.
I mean, incrementally, the larger the house, if you have a lot of voluminous spaces, obviously it's going to go down by the square foot. But the bigger it is, the heavier it is, the more you have to support it. So it's tricky.
So, but basically, people thinking, I'm going to get this lot for $2 million. I'm going to put 4,000 square feet on it. I'll see if I can get in at under 7, and I'm going to try to get 9 for it or something. Is that kind of what the speculators would be doing?
I mean, I think so. First of all, don't underestimate the power of high interest. Right. Nobody can afford the interest rates, and you're talking about a 2 to 3 year process carrying quite a bit of debt, and that eats into it. And then at the end, when you sell it, you got to pay mansion tax, even if you're a developer. So that's kind of another 5% gone.
Oh wow!
I feel like it's really very daunting. And if anyone should be buying lots, it's me. I should be buying them up and snapping them up. It's my home ground. I know this area. I built a lot of houses, and I just don't. I want to control. At least as much as I can, and the only way I can see to do that is to work on emancipating the city and getting out from underneath these people that don't want you to make a dime. Oh, wow. And the city's set up to, completely and totally torpedo all of your dreams when it comes to building a house and making money.
That's right.
It's just
the raison d'etre. Homes.com. Some might say that Homes.com is the best home shopping site. And it may be Homes.com's super comprehensive and transparent agent directory, or maybe it's that Homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Perhaps it's because Homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each neighborhood. Yeah, it's probably all the above. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth info they need to find the right home. I like just cruising Homes.com just to see what's out there and get caught up, but that's a hobby of mine. Homes.com. We've done your homework. Mint Mobile. That's right. You've heard of Mint. You know what doesn't belong in your epic summer plan? Getting burned by your old wireless bill. Unless you're into that kind of financial torture. I don't think you are. So while you're planning beach trips, barbecues, and 3-day weekends, the last thing you need is your phone company sucking the life right out of your wallet. That's why I dumped my old plan. I switched over to Mint Mobile. That's right. Alliteration, friends. Same coverage, same speed. Will not be any surprises here. It's just the bill will not make you cry with the big fees. I use Mint Mobile, and you should too. The quality, just as good as my old provider, but I'm saving enough to actually enjoy my summer. Make the switch and let your wireless bill be the last thing you have to worry about. You should worry about getting tan and not your wireless bill. It's Mint Mobile. Right, Dawson?
Get this new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Adam. That's mintmobile.com/Adam. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
It might be a dumb question, but does any of those slabs survive? I feel like that would be a big...
Right. Okay, so there's a couple of really important factors there. I mean, number one, the pile situation, if the house is stacked on top of the pile and the fire started underneath it, those piles have to come out. Oh. And, a lot of those things are in a raised pile system because it was allowed to be built. Like that beautiful house that you love that's up there off Chautauqua.
Wait, which one's that?
That gorgeous...
hold on. The one that burnt out?
Yeah, that beautiful
one.
Okay.
So she's saying piles.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I know, he doesn't understand.
Like,
that's the thing. You talk, he doesn't understand.
I was going to ask her.
You know what?
If I have another kid, I'm going to call him Kason.
Most of my life, I think about 2/3 of my life is me standing in between people trying to explain to each one what that person is talking about. Because I know the limit of everyone's knowledge. The second you said, what's going on with slabs, bro? I was like, all right, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I know, but
know that about you.
I prefaced it was a stupid question.
I know, but Elaine doesn't know you're dumb. I do.
All right.
And slabs,
I'm trying to explain to her my stupidity.
She doesn't live in a slab-based world. She lives in a caisson-based world.
My world is
I'm from
flat.
a slab
I'm a flat
society.
earther.
A slab society.
So you got to get down into the bedrock.
Yeah.
And you got to sink these caissons.
Like a pylon? It's like a caisson?
A pylon is an they're not going to let you do it.
Caissons pylons? But
Yes.
some pylons are caissons?
No. Controversy. I don't think all caissons are pylons.
Get out the Scrabble dictionary.
They're not going to let you do a pylon anymore. There's something called a pile driver.
Oh, okay.
You know, wrestling.
I'm into that, baby.
See what I do?
Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan.
I unite this way.
Yeah,
He's making it really complicated.
The pile driver
Yeah.
is the thing from like the 20s or the 30s with the steam thing, and it would drive the telephone poles into the ground.
Undertaker was back then?
Undertaker would do the pile driver, and you could make a pier
Yeah.
with a
I
pile
got
driver.
it. So right into the bedrock with the ka-ching.
Not into the bedrock,
Oh, my
but
bad.
down.
Down deep enough where you can put a...
You're not getting. I don't think you're pile driving into the bedrock, but maybe you are. I don't think so. But here's because bedrock is rock, and you're not putting the telephone pole through the rock. I don't think. But now, somebody said no more pile driver because we can't have homes held up by telephone poles, even though it worked and it worked. You see those houses from years and years and years ago. So then somebody said, why don't we drill a hole and we'll put a cage. Like a cage fight.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. An octagon of rebar.
All right.
And we'll drop it into the hole we drilled, and then we'll fill a bunch of concrete back in, and it'll dry.
Just ground and pounded in there.
Ground and pounded in there, and then that'll be forever. And those can be formed and can be extended up, or we can just stop them at the soil line and put a big piece of hardware on it, and you bolt your steel or whatever to it. Okay.
Got it. I'm up to date.
When those things become compromised, now you're dealing with big-time oral surgery, not a filling anymore. It's surgery because now you got to get the old shit out. You got to re-drill. You got to re-cage. You got to repump and blah, blah. If you looked up pile, I think you would see a different definition than caisson.
So you're saying the fire heated up all of that rebar and whatnot so much that it destroyed
the concrete will be compromised like when they had the fire with all the homeless people underneath the overpass and the freeway.
That was brutal.
And the fire underneath the overpass compromises the concrete overpass because of the heat cycle. And so the whole thing's got to be jacked out and replaced. So what Elaine is saying is let's just say you own that overpass. It'd be like, well, if the fire didn't affect it, then we're cool. But if the fire did affect it, we're fucked. Because not only do we got to remove the old one and reform and rebuild.
Yep.
So what I was asking, did a lot of that survive or none of it survive? Like what percentage? Because those guys gambling on the lots there, $2 million.
Oh, they will have tested.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say about 50% of the Palisades is either in the hills or on the water, and those are all piles. And we don't have a lot of bedrock everywhere, and you got to be into bedrock, and and even like the canyons, they all have retaining walls. So it's the only place you maybe don't need it is like in the flats around, and those are smaller lots, and it's also the hauling of it and the chipping of it and the taking it out of there. I mean, we're about halfway cleaned up. We're 7 months into it.
Yeah.
And we're halfway cleaned up.
What they're going to have to do. Dawson's got a definition of caisson versus pile.
Yeah, it says caissons are watertight structures made up of...
I think one's a rebar cage and a you want to know?
Made up of wood, steel, or reinforced concrete.
All right.
Built above the ground level and then sunken into the ground.
Deaf.
Yeah, okay.
A pile foundation is a type of deep foundation in which the loads are taken to a low level by means of vertical timber, concrete, or steel, thus piling it in, if I understand that correctly.
Yeah.
Wait, can you start over?
You're not exquisitely wrong, but when you're saying piles, you're meaning caissons, is what I'm saying.
You're saying
I just found a civil engineering site
that
had this definition, so I thought I'd share it.
Can he look up Rule 20? Because I want to talk about that too.
Look up an old time. See if there's video of a pile driver, and not the wrestling variety.
A steam-driven one, preferably.
Yeah, just an old time pile driver. Well, they're all old because they don't. That's how they did it in the olden days.
Yeah,
now it's caisson rigs. There's a caisson rig that's right in the middle of PCH, and they're just making holes down and putting up barriers for rock slides, essentially. We have a video, by the way, of going through a couple houses. I think, Andrew, you took this vid. You can watch it at adamcarolla.com. Yeah, Andrew was driving around, and they're framing a couple houses up there, but not many. So I passed the Palisades on my ride home, and it's all burnt and charred, but there's a couple of structures being built out there. It is slim pickings, and again, as I say all the time, they're building them out of wood, which is kind of weird to me.
What could happen? What could go wrong?
Well, like I said, they'll probably have rules about the rafter tails and things.
Oh yeah,
things of that nature.
The Den's glass scam.
Oh, what is that?
That's the stuff that you have to put underneath that's fire retardant instead of wood, instead of TNG.
Uh-huh.
Right, but so there's only one company that got approved, even though there's 1,000 companies that make it.
Oh, Den's glass.
There's so many clever ways to scheme nowadays.
It's just like, okay.
Where everybody's, it's like over bureaucracy on top of everybody got to hustle.
Yeah. The thing that's crazed is the only thing that didn't burn is the fire station.
Look at this.
Which is so weird.
I don't know.
love
That
these
makes
videos.
sense to me, Ace. It's like more fire trucks percentage right there.
I know, but there's a fire station on Sunset where the buildings behind it, to the right, to the left, in front of it are all gone, and there the fire station sits. Yeah, it is a vast wasteland of just vacant lots with no. I mean, let's.
I thought it was a paintball
This is really
field.
great,
You know what I mean?
Adam.
That's what it looks like.
This is so great.
All right, let me just say this. Here, I'll sum it up, and then I have other questions for Elaine. This process would be daunting and Herculean if the city was all in and Karen Bass and helping. Mm-hmm. The fact that it's daunting and Herculean and they don't give a shit and are not in the mood to help makes it, now we're bordering on impossible. We go from a tough job to impossible because they're not motivated. The Yentas and the city council and Karen Bass and all that, her ilk, are much more worried. Nithya Raman is much more worried about removing U-turn signs from gay neighborhoods than she is in building anything. They're much more interested in tearing down that guy's treehouse in Sherman Oaks than they are rebuilding the Palisades. That guy's treehouse got taken down 2 months ago in Sherman Oaks. That's their focus, not rebuilding, taking a guy's treehouse down. That's, by the way, do any of these crazy bitches even understand the optics? Like, does anyone in their fucking office go, maybe we shouldn't be tearing down a guy's treehouse while people over the hill are still sifting through ashes, trying to rebuild their life. Maybe this seems like our priorities are in the wrong place. Maybe it's just a weird optics thing.
Mark Garagos could rent that treehouse.
Anybody could rent it. It was definitely a sleeping quarters. Why would they do that? Why would they? That's
because
low-income housing.
Nithya Raman, the same retarded bitch who blamed Toyota for catalytic converters and wants to take down signs in gay neighborhoods, was also in charge of taking the treehouse down. So that's what she does.
Wait, what's the no U-turn sign thing?
Oh, God.
I want to know. Oh, my God.
Well,
please
listen,
tell me.
Here, it's all about bandanas, okay? You want to put one in your back pocket. Now, depending on what you're into, all right? That's how you signal
I'm
everybody.
into the pile driver.
All
What
right.
color's that bandana?
Oh, my God.
I believe it's black for the Undertaker.
Oh, dear.
In the Hyperion and Silver Lake in the gay neighborhood, they put signs saying no U-turns, like in the 90s, because guys were cruising having sex on people's lawns and shit. And so, yeah, I know. So instead
Don't stop, just keep going.
So they were saying, like, you can't just keep. What if you lived in that neighborhood and on a Tuesday at 2 a.m. you saw the same El Camino just going back and forth and back and forth? So the residents got together and they said, we're putting a no U-turn sign up so people don't just keep cruising for gay sex on a shrub in front of my house. But then, of course, that's an attack on the gay community, which I always like. It's like, nobody said you can't just go to a bedroom and butt fuck each other. They said, we don't want you to do it on our lawn. But no, Nithya Raman had to snap into action because that's her, those are her people. You know
and
what
everybody's
I mean?
happy now? The signs are up? They're
the
down?
signs are down. Listen.
They're gone.
Who cares
Okay.
about the sign?
Listen. The treehouse is down.
Yep.
The sign is down. The catalytic converters are gone. And you're not doing any rebuilding in Palisades. So her mission is accomplished. You understand? Her focus, that's all the priorities. That's how she loves to roll. All right, so mission accomplished.
So we're okay. So
we're dealing with a lot of dumb,
you're gonna
yentas.
meet with Rick tomorrow.
I'm meeting with Rick.
So Rick, would support de-annexing.
Right.
But he won't do it.
Well, okay, let me explain something about the people in the city, the Rick Carusos of the world. And I've told you once, but I'll say it again. I know the guy who ran the Staples Center or crypto or whatever we're calling it. I know him well. I went on a long boat ride. We go on boat rides with people, you get to know them, because it's confined. You're sitting there, you're just drinking beer, and you're bouncing up and down,
And the implication.
I went all the way to Catalina and back with this guy, and I said, you run the Staples Center. Yes, I'm in charge. So I started to start asking questions. Like, stuff like when, Mexican group comes in and plays, they got to cut the Tecate off like an hour into the show because those people will fucking slam beers and get completely fucking sloshed. Like, first off, you got to curtail whether it's a K-pop band, a Mexican band, or if it's, Lilith Fair, it's a different, more white wine, less Tecate if Lilith is coming in here. They got to make rules. And they're the most pragmatic people in the world. Like these people, when Menudo comes in, the Menudo reunion happens here and they open for Los Lobos, we're cutting the beer line off 45 minutes in.
So they profile.
They profile every business profiles because, they literally go, look, we want more. They're also probably ordering more hot dogs and churros and less Chardonnay. You know what I mean? Like they got to figure it out because they can't be out of shit or have people vomiting everywhere. Like they do it. So I talked to him about that, because I profile. And I said to him, hey, man, last time I came in, I walked into crypto and Staples, and I saw a game or something, my son or something. And I said, I walked out of an exit door and literally almost tripped over an illegal cooking hot dogs right on your property. And he just hung his head. And he was like, that's a problem. It's a big problem. It's a problem. Then he pulled out his phone and he showed me a picture of a giant cockroach cooking next to a hot dog on one of those grills. And there's 30 of them. And they're all on his property. He goes, it's a big problem. They're all on my property. And I said, well, Jesus Christ, you're the biggest taxpayer in the city. I mean, just clear them out, man. Call the city council and whatever and tell them, get this private property. Get them out of here. And he goes, I don't want to get into trouble. And I thought, what do you mean get into trouble? And he's like, I'll get into if I go down there and start bitching about these Mexicans cooking food on my thing, they'll turn on me. And I was like, oh,
wait,
God.
Who will turn on you?
The city council. So okay, well then they'll fuck with you.
Oh, I get it.
So Rick Caruso's got to be careful.
It's always my problem.
Well, because then Rick Caruso goes, I need permits to build another development. Oh, you do?
Oh.
Same guy was bitching about the hot dogs?
Hot dog.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think, though, he's really done an incredible job on this, getting the utilities underground. right?
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I didn't know
he's
that.
on it and creating AI, and Steadfast is working. I think that Rick's amazing to me.
You got a plan and a vision for sure.
The town could have been run.
Yeah.
We could have had him for the mayor, except for my mom and her friends who would never vote for that guy because she's a process person, not a do shit person.
Yeah.
Well, I think. Well, also, if you do a lot of investigating, I'm a really big. I really go to. I call and I'll stop anybody and ask them questions.
Are you curious or are you nosy?
Ooh.
This is the question we've been pondering for the last 24 hours.
Yes.
And I would say I'm definitely curious no matter what, because I do things when I'm completely alone and by myself that are investigative.
What's the difference between curious and nosy?
I think nosy is when you are in someone's business that's not your business.
Yeah, so we're talking, and I have found in my life that it's all about the motor. Everyone always talks about daddy's money or born on third base or privilege or white privilege or whatever. If you got a motor and you're really curious, you'll get a lot done and you'll be successful. And if you don't, you're fucked. And I know tons of people that are they're zero curious about shit. They're just like, oh, who the fuck cares? Why are you asking me? And which is most people's default setting. And then there's curious people, and curious people are always asking questions and following up, and they become successful really fast. But then we realize nosy, while it shares qualities with curious, it's actually a detriment.
Yeah.
Because you spend too much time worrying about other people's shit and getting involved in other people's shit, and you don't benefit at all.
It's curiosity in the wrong direction.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You're worried about things that don't concern
Right. So
you.
Elaine is curious, but not nosy.
I could care less about most people's problems and things.
Me too. Especially my kids.
I'm even the same way in my relationship. I'm like, could you just not tell me your problems so I don't have to tell you mine?
Yes.
I just, let's just get on with it and have a good time.
But builders are constantly... that's Rick Caruso, that's Trump, that's Elaine. You guys are in a hurry all the time because it's always what's next? When are the windows coming? When are the windows coming? When is this arriving? Everything is a constant state of what's the next arrival of the next material or the next trade or the next whatever. You're not nosy. You need answers to all this stuff, and you're occupied with it. There's only so much time in the day. Like you're thinking about.
I just feel like you have to drive everything. You got to drive your kids to go to school. You got to drive. You got to drive every idea. You have to drive everything. If you're not driving things, if you're not leading the pack, you're not. Then get out of the way.
Yeah, I know, but
leadership requires driving things.
Right, but we're in a fundamental... See, we have a fundamental problem that I don't think people really understand, which boils down to sort of psychology. It's all psychology. Like, you just go, look, what are these kids learning at school? They're going there, and they're dressing up like a Palestinian and fighting Jews and stuff. Like, what the fuck? And they're going to vote for this Von Dami guy. What the fuck? Where are they getting these? They come back, they're pissed off. Drew's kids came back from college, they're pissed at him. You're white, you're rich, you don't know anything. It's like, I bought you, I paid for college.
I have
pissed
one
off.
too.
You have one of those too. Maybe she can marry Drew's kid. The point is you go, where did you learn this shit? Who told you this shit? Who all of a sudden you're marching for Black Lives Matter and you got red hair and you don't fucking know any black people? Like, what the fuck? How'd you decide Palestine was oppressed? Where did you get all this shit? Okay. Well, if Elaine and Adam Carolla and Rick Caruso were professors and teachers and head of school board, they wouldn't learn any of this shit because we ain't interested in that. Rick Caruso would be talking about money, finances, and building, and compounding interest, and you'd be talking about carrying interest, while you're rebuilding and all stuff. And those kids will come back with a master's in mechanical engineering. They know the difference between a caisson and a pylon. They know it all.
I definitely would not teach women's studies. I mean, I would just take it out of the curriculum.
But it doesn't make sense. My mom is a Chicano studies major. She never got paid a fucking nickel. She looks like Tom Petty. You think she fucking... She didn't want it, but here's the whole point.
I love Tom Petty.
Yeah, you don't know how it feels.
Then you would love my mom. That was the point. Here's my point.
That was funny.
I got it. Here's the point. The point is who is teaching these classes? Well, it's a bunch of socialist light people who sort of hate the government, hate the white man, and whatever. And that's what's coming out the other end. All right, who's in government? Bunch of people that like being in charge, but don't feel like working that hard, but like to get paid, but don't really want to compete in the private sector. So that's who's in charge. And so you come up, Miss Chatty Cathy with a motor and go, hey, what's going on with those permits? What's going on? They go, slow it down. Relax.
Every
Take
day.
it slow.
Is that your experience with this one?
No,
stop?
this is exactly.
It is.
Yeah, because she's in the private sector, and this attracts process people who don't want to do anything.
I
and by the way,
the front of the check.
You are a nuisance and an annoyance and agitating and obnoxious to them. Like they do not like you coming in with your ideas and like you're in a hurry. I mean, I've been in the DMV in Van Nuys, and they're like, we got to process this, and then you can come back tomorrow and you can pick it up. And I go, well, what if I leave you the check, you process it, here's my address on an envelope, and you send it to me, and I don't have to come back? And they're like, I don't know if that's what we can. I go, why? We're done. It's just going to process overnight. You tell me, come back, pick it up, send it to me. You got my address. Here's the stamp, And they're like, I don't know if we can do that. And they're like, because their whole thing is, they'd much rather you drive across town in traffic and sit and wait again to pick up this piece of paper that they could hand you right now, but they have to process it or whatever, than drop it in the mail. So everything they do is slow. Everything they do is tired. And worse, it attracts those people. Karen Bass, it wouldn't be attracted to running a construction company. She would be attracted to going into government where she could sit and pontificate and do nothing and go to Ghana and dance and have meetings about meetings and about meetings about other meetings and then be interviewed and talk about the people and talk about standing up and being great and then go home and nap. That's what it attracts those people. That's why you have those fucking people.
I think by design, government jobs are set up where the majority of the people only have the power to say no.
Right.
And so, that is, again, if you don't break up the government in a state this size, if you don't let cities advocate for themselves, you've got to go so far up the chain to get a yes, and you really never get there.
Right.
And all the money that's in between that's spent on every one of those people at the DMV that can't figure out if they can mail you your, which they probably can't.
That's Department of Building and Safety, but yes.
Sorry. Which they probably can't. They're probably not allowed to.
I got them to.
Oh, well.
You know what? I yelled at all of them. And I said, would you guys please try to improve? Try to improve. Get better. And one guy goes, this is like 20 years ago, he goes, man, I just started Monday and I'm getting yelled at by Adam Carolla.
Exactly. But, they might have also done it because it was Adam Carolla.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a video of a pile driver.
Nice.
Oh, let's see it.
Come on, Hulk Hogan. Hey, what the hell is this?
This is a pile
Oh,
driver.
that's banging. Those things are so noisy.
So
yeah.
They're sinking piles in. I like there's a chick in charge of oiling the pile driver. She's got to stand right there. By the way, that bitch can sleep through anything. She's sound asleep. Her husband's awake. Garbage man's here.
It could be a guy. You don't know.
She looks like a woman.
She's got boobs.
She's got boobs and hair.
Short strokes here.
I'll be darned.
It's a modern day pile driver.
It's pretty awesome. What are they putting in? That's cool.
Is that one next to it?
They're taking a telephone pole that's probably wrapped in steel or something, and they're just driving it into the earth.
Oh, I see.
By the way, there's no way I could work on the pile driving rig without at some point throwing in a tall boy beer, smash. Hey, I got a medium-sized pumpkin.
Look. There it is.
Pulling it off.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, wow.
These are cement
Concrete?
piles.
Oh, cement, yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So they drive now. It now depends what the codes are and what cities are. But anyway,
this looks like Florida. It's an octagon kind of space.
What in the world are they building there?
It looks like an overpass or something.
Nobody.
Do you think it's just pile practice?
Now listen, I don't.
What is that?
I don't think they're gonna. I don't know.
I think it's a bridge. You see a river in the background right there. I think they're starting to build.
Oh, they're in a river bed.
Yeah,
that's where they do the pylons.
That's why they need so many.
Yeah, that's where they do them in the river beds. All right, you can stop the vid.
The algorithm got Oprah on it.
Oprah. I feel like I don't know why. I explained I didn't need to hear anything more from Oprah. I need no more wisdom from Oprah. And then the Lord and the TV gods went, good, we'll give you Gayle King. And I was like, I don't know what that bitch does either. Like, I don't know why we need to even know anything about Gayle King. Gayle King, Oprah, I would pay, if there was some sort of cosmic thing.
Yeah.
All right, you can stop the video.
You want to unsubscribe
I think all that stuff
from Oprah?
I think that went down the tubes, after the whole Kamala debacle.
I am hoping.
I
if somebody
think so.
said, I would say, look, I will pay $10,000 a year if I never have to hear from Sofia Vergara, Oprah, or Gayle King. I'll pay $10,000 just to have them completely removed from my world.
Shrieking harpy tax.
I don't know what. I don't want to hear their opinions. I don't want to hear them talking to Billy Bush about what is beauty to them. I don't want, and then they can explain when you feel beautiful inside. That's when you're. I don't want to hear
Another $3 million. I'll throw in Rosie O'Donnell.
I 3's a lot, but I would do a thing where if you could surgically remove these people from my purview, my world, I would pay top
You'll
dollar.
participate in that fund.
Gonna censor
The
himself.
the removal of annoying women fund.
We have the definition of Rule 20, by the way, that you asked for.
Oh, I love it.
Dawson. What is Rule 20, Dawson?
So Rule 20, according to the California Public Utilities Commission, is the tariff that governs utility undergrounding of overhead wires at the request of third parties, e.g. local government, businesses, and residential customers. Rule 20 program is split into 3 subdivisions of the tariff based on how much funding ratepayers contribute. It says, and so I hope you have more information on this, but the idea is that they can use it to eliminate an unusually heavy concentration of overhead lines. We're talking about burying power lines.
Are they going to do that in the Palisades? Are they doing that in Malibu too?
Well, okay, so first of all, Rule 20 is kind of boring when you listen to it.
No shit.
Right.
I know.
So, but what I want to tell you about Rule 20 that's important is that's extra funding to get our comms, which is like AT&T and Spectrum and Comcast, into the same trench in the road that the utilities are going into. Okay, so you don't want to put the power in the road and then have a pole with your Spectrum on it.
Yeah.
Right.
What's the point?
Right.
And SDG&E, I think, approved what's called Rule 20, Section D, which is funding to make that happen. And I brought up something in the city council meeting. And by the way, if you could get Tracy Parks on here, it would be really awesome because you could ask her about this.
She's a city council person.
Right, and she's our city council person. She's
I know.
a great gal.
Most of the people listening don't live in her district. That's what I'm just trying to.
Well, she's trying.
give her a
Listen,
title.
she's the thing is she's trying. But whether she's got the skill set yet is tricky. But you can teach people that are interested.
I love. Our politicians are like, well, this person's a bitch who's doing nothing, and then this person is trying, but she's, not really up this,
But she's smart. She's a lawyer and she's smart. She just doesn't know the business.
Right. All right.
know.
So I would love to talk to her because at least she's trying and she's on the happy side of this.
So these are the things. You're going to be my medium for getting things done because I have a big mouth.
All right.
So I can't meet with these people because I could get them, unelected quickly.
Well, the other thing too is people are very like, whoa, I gotta watch it. It's like, I don't watch what? Rebuild the fucking city and
the
do your
city's
best
gone.
to rebuild
What
the
are you
city.
going to lose? How much lower can you get?
I'm running for re-election. Why don't you run on rebuilding the city then?
Get focused. Karen Bass could probably have gotten reelected if she just got out of the way. They're on their third czar. They hired a new company now.
Oh, a rebuild czar.
They're they're just like you know what they are? These guys are like accountants for construction, right? You got to get a consulting company. It goes back from 2020 to 2028. We've got to get rid of all these NGOs and people that are in the middle.
Right.
Because the money comes in, then it goes to you, and then I come to you and go, okay, did you get the money? You're like, yeah, I got the money. And then you give me half of what you got, or less.
Yeah.
Because you're expensive.
Yeah, everybody puts a stamp on it, yeah.
Right. Okay, so Rule 20, should be under DWP so that we get money under a specific grant and a specific distribution to pay for these utilities to go in. And then the utility companies, they pay that money back out of the services. That's $50 million a month of services to download your stupid spectrum in Pacific Palisades.
Right.
They should absolutely pay to put their own utilities underground.
Elaine, it also looks like if the local government will just say, okay, all the power lines have to be buried now, the cost of that is included in the rate you are paying for that service.
That's right.
So what's the problem?
All right, Elaine, let me tell people they can go to your website. I want to find out what you're up to.
It's best to just hit me up at Lipstick Farmer. I'm on Instagram, Lipstick Farmer. I'm, the hated baby boomer. And at the end, I just had my 60th. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I think it's best to hit me up on Lipstick Farmer because I can actually work Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We got it.
All right, Elaine, thanks for the input. We'll do the news right after this. Folks, life does not come with a manual. Oh, it'd be nice. I don't read very well, so I don't know. I'd probably screw that up. Every day you're out there, you're making choices, some big, like, should you finally clean out that garage? Some small, like, should I have that third breakfast burrito? That's a lot in one day, but I can handle it. It'd be nice to get a little help being human. For that, there's Life Kit, podcast from NPR. The show's packed with real stories and simple, actionable advice that cover everything: fitness, routines, mental resilience, tackling burnout. Personally, I checked out an episode that was dealing with stress, and you know me, I've seen my fair share of stress. It was refreshingly practical because I like pragmatism. No sugarcoating, no fluff. The hosts are thoughtful, and the advice is straightforward. You get clear takeaways you can put to work today. Life Kit isn't just another self-improvement podcast. It's about figuring out how to live a little better, one step at a time. Am I right, Dawson?
Listen now to the Life Kit podcast from NPR.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. That's right. Bring it down a little. O'Reilly Auto Parts. You know the jingle. These guys are in the business of keeping your car on the road, don't you know? O'Reilly Auto Parts offers friendly, helpful service and the parts knowledge you need for all your maintenance and repairs. These guys are good, and I use them all the time. I use them every neighborhood I move into. I find the O'Reillys, and that's the one I use, and I've done it my entire adult life. So whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you're going to find the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, they are friendly. So stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today, or you can visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Adam. So my friend says there is no car in the world that looks good in canary yellow. I say the Lamborghini, and that's it. What say you, brother? Peace out.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
I'm with him in that I don't like canary yellow for cars, and no, I don't even think the Lamborghini looks that great in canary yellow.
What about the old Corvette with the white panels on the side? Maybe you can
No, they didn't make
62, wasn't it?
They didn't make any of those in canary yellow. All right, but I don't think.
I feel like that's in my head. Maybe I saw somebody's
I'll tell you what's in your head, Mayhem.
What's that?
Pylons.
No,
there's two cars that work in canary yellow, in my estimation, and nothing more. It's a, let's see, 69, 70 Ferrari Daytona convertible and a Dino Ferrari. Dino Ferraris look okay in canary yellow, and there's quite a few canary yellow Daytonas and quite a few canary yellows, yellow Dinos. Those two look okay. Everything else, no.
There's one more. A taxi.
Taxi looks good as well. Now, there's a non-canary yellow Boss Mustang that's in the, like, school bus yellow, they call it or whatever, but it's really orange. But I got in a big argument with a guy once. So I said, that Boss Mustang is orange. And I said, it's yellow. And then the name of it is School Bus Yellow. But it's orange. But anyway, don't get me started. All right. Man, we'd found out that Hulk Hogan was gone and Ozzy Osbourne. And I guess these guys, Brian Wilson. Now, this has to happen to everyone who gets old. People that are a little older die. But in the past, the people weren't ubiquitous parts of our lives.
Yeah.
Like Hulk Hogan has been a part of your life since you were born.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you didn't know. You've never
I don't know a world without the Hulkster.
You don't know that world.
No.
And you don't know a world without Ozzy Osbourne in it, right? So that then becomes weird because you've never even, like, these people are just ubiquitous types that are supposed to always be around, and they're just gone.
Yeah.
And we're going to be, there's going to be a version where it's like, well, I mean, we can do the math on everyone's going at some point, but I'm just saying we're going to have to sit here and live in this world where you go, there's no more David Letterman. There's no more anyone you grew up with.
On a long enough timeline, the survival rate is 0.
That is correct. All right. So sad, but to be expected, I would say. All right. What do you got? What do you got in the... and by the way, these guys, I mean, take a guy like Hulk Hogan. He got a lot of living in.
He did. I know, man. I'm like sad to see him go, but I know that he had the glory, and he had the glorious lifestyle. It was one of my personal heroes when I was a child. So, he inspired so many and made such an impact on the world that I'll forgive all of his scandals.
I had a thought, I had a weird thought, but I think it's an accurate thought. The other week, I came here in the morning and I did a podcast, and I left directly from here to a private airport, and I got on a private jet.
Baller.
Yeah. And I flew to Chicago, and I got out of the jet. By the time I got out of the jet, it was, 7:30 at night or whatever. And I went directly to a comedy club with my luggage.
Badass.
Yeah, I know. And I changed backstage in the green room, and I went out at 9 and I did an hour, 10 minutes or whatever, and then signed autographs, sold books, and then got into a car and drove to Wisconsin and to Elkhart Lake and stayed in Airbnb. And then the following morning, well, not really the morning, I didn't go to bed till like 3, but then I got up the following day and I had a run group practice at the track in my run group at, 3 in the afternoon. Did the run group.
Just road warrior right now.
That night, Thursday night, did a sold-out show at the track.
Yeah.
With a venue in the track. Stayed behind, sold books, got up the next morning, Friday, went and did the morning session, the afternoon practice session, qualifying, then got out of the car and was Grand Marshal of the parade. Led the parade all the way into Elkhart Lake, the city, from the track, 500 cars, me leading in some guy's race car, 30,000 people, got up on the podium, gave a speech. Next day, Saturday, got back up, got in the car, did the qualifying, did the showed a screening of the 24-Hour War, my Ford v Ferrari doc that made before that movie. I always have to say that. Trained that, signed autographs, everything. Went back to the Airbnb. Next day, got up, checked out of the Airbnb, took all the luggage, went to the track, drove the feature race at 3 in the afternoon, got out of the car, changed in my street clothes. Mike August picked me up. We drove to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, played the Pabst Theater Sunday night. Rudy, my opener, picked me up in the lobby of the airport on Monday at 7 a.m., took me to the airport, 2 flights, back to LA.
Man, what you doing right now? Brag planing?
No. What I am doing is, as I was sitting on the flight flying back, I thought to myself, I think I officially have done more in the last 4.5 to 5 days than I think my dad did in his life.
That's what I was going to ask
That's
you.
what I was thinking.
What separated you from sitting on the couch with the trumpet?
I don't know, but I thought, I think this is more. Now, I don't know how you quantify it, but I think this is more.
That was a busy weekend.
I think this is more than he's done in his entire life. And I thought, that's weird, because I knocked that shit out in 4.5 days. But, I like comedy. I like racing cars. I don't have a problem with it, but it did add up.
Took a different path. You know what I'm saying? Look here. My dad was a war fighter, but he had a bad fight with the kid that went on to the Olympics, and he quit boxing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had a bad fight and said, "All right, I'm done with this." And I went the other way. I had bad fights and just kept going.
Was he a light heavyweight?
Yeah.
Oh, man. No. See? Well, you learn. You can learn from their mistakes as well. All right, sorry. What do we got?
Oh, the news. Yeah, we're doing the news. Well, look. First up, billionaire Tyler Perry fired his aunt and financially cut off his family members, saying he's not welfare. He also, I looked into the story. Man, he's very tough on his kids. Makes them work for their money, and he has a similar take to you, I think, on this whole deal.
Well, he grew up kind of hard scrabble.
Yeah,
and poor and everything. And now he makes horrible movies, but he gets paid.
And he worth $1.4 billion, according to Forbes.
And here's what I would say to anyone listening. It takes just as much effort to make a really shitty movie as it does to make a really good movie. So he's working hard out there. And I like it.
Yeah, he sort of made it like Black Hollywood out there in Atlanta.
It's got to be a weird one, though, where it's like you got all these family members and they're all poor and they're all just coming around.
For sure.
And it's really, Sofia Coppola doesn't have this problem. But Tyler Perry does, because he doesn't come from where she comes from. Her dad doesn't own a vineyard. You know what I mean? So that's got to, listen, here's the bummer about that, because I've experienced it on a smaller scale, much smaller scale. It's never, there's a no-win proposition. You never really get paid back. You never get thanked. The people get angry. You do tons of shit for people.
You're like paying it karmically or something. You know what I mean? Like, being a father or stepdad is like a no-win situation. You're like putting in all this effort. Will you get any back? Will you get, will Sonny one day, like, you know what I mean? I don't know, push you around in the wheelchair? You know what I'm saying?
Like, push me off that cruise ship like they did to that Jewish passenger back in the day. That's what they're going to do.
Heist you straight over the railing?
No, there's lots of conversations about, like, well, they need to get them like an apartment building so they can be set up, so they can have, and I'm like, or they can get a job. There's always a possibility of there's always a possibility of working and shit. I don't know when this shit, like, first off, this kid's had $150,000 for college, and stuff like that. It doesn't end, and it's weird when you get divorced, because when you get divorced, they keep saying, but what are you gonna? What about them? What about them? What about the kids? What about the kids? I go, what do you mean? What about the kids? They can work. Mm-hmm. You can get a fucking job. You can do. I don't know. Do what Tyler Perry did.
See, but you're in the position of like, everyone assuming that you're gonna be a job creator for your family too. You get what I'm saying?
I got my daughter's working for Kimmel, Yeah,
there you go. You hooked her up with the job. So you know what I mean? You did help. What?
Jimmy sent me you can look it up. I was at the track on Saturday. I didn't even bother telling him I was at the track, because no one could be further away from the track than Jimmy. But he just sent me a text on Saturday when I was at the track of a professional tennis player's website or Twitter or whatever, but the guy's name is Jack Sock. And he was like, He's a professional tennis player, and his name is Jack Sock. And Jimmy's like,
ironically, my Jack Sock is from tennis. Yeah.
Really?
He has a tennis sock, yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's
Smart.
red band, three red bands on around the top. It's an Adidas one, actually.
Smart.
Padded.
I like the one with the little balls on the back that the girls would wear. But, Jack Sock is a professional tennis player. and that's all Jimmy said. Jimmy just said, I think you should know this. And he just sent me this thing. And then I sent back a thing to him that said, well, now Jimmy labeled me in the looks department. He said I look like Pete Sampras with Down syndrome. That was 25 years ago, but he said that's essentially what you look like if Pete Sampras had Down syndrome. And then I think he may have forgotten about it or something. Then I wrote him back and I said, well, this guy's a professional. So I said, as a professional Pete Sampras with Down syndrome impersonator, I can tell you that I know this Jack Sock guy. And then he wrote back, oh, man, I give the worst nicknames. But that's how guys think.
Yeah.
It was important. He's probably out of the country, but it was important to him that I know there's a guy named Jack Sock.
You know what? That's a good bro.
And priorities through the roof, right?
Definitely. Look, here's a fun one. Lion ex-rep George Santos admits his chin is fake as he shares the biggest fear about prison ahead of his 87-month sentence.
That is a weird one. I didn't.
87 months he's about to do.
I didn't know there were fake chins, but then I started.
Fake chins, fake. He's saying that it will migrate, and his chin implant he had it for elongation purposes. He says, I have it in my face. I think at this point, like 30% filler. The migration is a real bitch. So if you got to compensate all the time. He's talking about pumping stuff into his face.
I think my grandmother had a fake chin.
Really?
I do.
She lost it from chewing tobacco?
She was in the joint for a while, and it may have migrated. She shit it out. She told me that. No, I don't. I never asked, but my grandmother had a really pointy chin.
Here he
and
is,
my mom had a real soft chin.
In middle school. No. There's a current picture.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. It looks all right. I would have known it, but I do think my grandmother had a fake chin.
For what reason? You mean like, what? Come on, man. You can't just leave it at that. Elaborate.
My grandmother,
because right now I'm imagining like one of those crude World War II implements that the guys
hers looked a little more like a witchy poo kind of. It didn't.
She had a butt chin at the bottom.
It must have been from the 50s or something. I don't know. I gotta ask somebody. I don't know. It was weird. My mom has a sort of soft. My mom is very soft face and not that way at all. Yeah. So I don't know where that Helen Gorog's like pointy chin came from. I think it was fake. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
she would have been a pioneer of the chin implant.
I was gonna say,
were they doing chin implants in the
of the
60s? Chin plant. Anyway, she had some sort of weird aesthetic. It didn't work out.
Yeah, but Santos lied his ass off and got 87 months. Now his Botox is going to wear off and his face is going to melt. It's going to be pretty interesting seeing him rub it into.
Well, he just turned out to be funny and sociopathic, right?
Well, it's just pretty wacky. The guy's list of accomplishments is pretty inflated because he just said that he was a volleyball champion and that wasn't true. He said he was Jewish. And they're like, wait a minute, that's not true. He has such a long list of bizarre lies that it's amazing that he was out as long as he was.
Yeah, well,
the serial bloviator, just make up anything, yeah, he said he was openly gay. He panned his former wife, Adla, as clueless during the wide-ranging chat.
Here's what
because he was married to a lady for a while and then shaved his beard.
Here's what I'm thinking. You might as well just lie about everything these days.
Yeah, I know.
What good is it? I'm constantly correcting people and saying, no, that's not how it happened. No, that's not what it was.
It's a post-truth
and I
world.
just realized, just fucking lie. Look, I'm a fool for trying to be accurate with people, and I also realize people just say stupid stuff all day and it doesn't even make sense anymore, and they have their theories and ideas, and I guess what I'm saying is we should just lie. Just lie.
Constantly?
I don't know what's in it to tell the truth or even to be accurate.
No
anymore. It doesn't really matter, and there's just, it's weird because I thought the computer was going to fix this, like I thought Ring doorbells were going to solve crime, and it turns out the opposite. I thought the day they put a camera up in a 7-Eleven, that'd be the last day that 7-Eleven ever got robbed because there's a camera. I was sorely mistaken. Yeah. We have more robberies now.
Great footage now. A lot of new Crime Watch shows.
It's basically like saying, what's going to solve any sexual harassment lawsuits in the office place? A seminar that we have on day one. And it's like, that just reminds people to sue people for shit. We now have many more lawsuits about sexual harassment in the workplace. Since if you looked at some sort of graph,
data
chart,
is beautiful. I have that all the time.
You looked at a graph that said sexual lawsuits, filings, legal filings, when we had the talk, when we had to have the mandatory sexual harassment meeting for insurance and whatever, and then at post, when we started that, like 1989, the graph would just go through the fucking roof because it's like we're a society who sees the camera and goes, oh yeah, I should rob this place. Like we literally get reminded to do shit. So chin implants have been available for over 50 years, making them the oldest form of alloplastic facial augmentation. So this is like the old school ones. I don't get the butt implants.
I mean, I get them. If you know what I mean.
I know you get them, but I don't. All right, anyway. All right, next story. What's next?
This summer, Pluto TV is exploding with thousands of free movies. Summer of Cinema is here. Feel the explosive action all summer long with movies like Gladiator, Mission Impossible, Beverly Hills Cop, Good Burger, and Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Bring the action with you and stream for free from all your favorite devices. Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
Simply Safe, y'all. Here's the deal. Most security systems, they wait until after someone breaks in. It's too late by then. I use Simply Safe because it actually stops crime before it starts. Imagine that. A little prevention. Their Active Guard outdoor protection has these AI cameras and real people watching your place. That's right. So it's always like someone's home. If some creep is lurking around, the agents can talk to them. Flip on the spotlight, even call the cops right then. Not after your stuff's gone. No contracts, no hidden fees, none of that nonsense. Over 4 million people trust Simply Safe, so it's not just me. It's a whole bunch of other smart people. You can start plans at just about $1 a day, so that ain't much for peace of mind. Get a 60-day try it free, money back guarantee. You get a 60-day trial, money back guarantee. You're going to love it. It's Simply Safe, right, Dawson?
Head to simplysafe.com/Adam to claim your discount and make sure your home is safe this season. Don't wait. This offer won't last long. Keep your home, your family, and your peace of mind protected with Simply Safe. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Next up, look, it's a cute little video about the rough truth of your pet's impact on the planet. Yeah, I looked into this. It's really the carbon footprint of a Great Dane is enormous.
Really?
Yes. The food has to be made in these giant factories that burn a bunch of power up, and you got to kill so many animals and release so much carbon in the air that having your pet is like having a diesel truck.
Really?
Yeah. I bet they say
What
it's
if
comparable.
you are Asian and able to ride your Great Dane and thus not drive your car as often?
I mean, you can ride it, and then when it gets old enough, eat it.
Yeah. So it basically turns out everything in life that we like is shitty on the environment. You know what I mean? Like what's great? I love a big fat Labrador. Bad for the environment. What do you like? Man, I want 7,000 square feet and lots of air conditioning. Well, that's bad. What do you want to drive? I want to drive a Denali with custom rims and leather interior. Good. Well, I like to go on cruise ships. I like to go out for a steak. It's like every single thing that's good is bad.
I know.
That's what I've. That's what I've learned.
Is killing polar bears.
So what do they figure out? It's the food. It's the waste.
Yeah, there is. I don't know. Instead of video.
Let's put it this way. There's a video?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh,
yeah.
we'll watch the vid. Sorry. You slide up on the screen.
It's a 3-minute news story.
Well, watch
really
it.
a video.
Well, it's a video on a news story. Let's watch it.
Family members to so many of us. Pets are like family members to so many of us, but they're also quietly leaving behind massive carbon footprints. Or should we say, paw prints?
It's probably more than we think. A big part of it is like picking up the dog waste.
According to a 2022 study, all that dog poop goes into approximately 3/4 to 1.2 million tons of global dog poop bags disposed
Hold on a
of.
second.
Yeah. No, can I say this?
I don't like the word poop that much, but but also you just had the doctor say waste. So you've set the table with waste. Now just follow it up with the VO and go, dog waste. You're not going to be confused.
And I'll be like behind you with the xylophone.
You had an expert tell you it was waste. Why do we have to go back to poop? But okay, so poop, you got to pick up all the poop.
Disposed of annually. You could fill the Empire State Building every year with all that poop.
Don't show the poop. The dog sniffing it?
It doesn't just break down. It's not like we're properly composting.
Hold on.
it.
You understand? Most of the people who I argue with in my life, if they had a dog, they'd go, okay, who? So you're saying that I'm trying to fill the Empire State Building with dog poop? Like that would be the argument from most of the people I know.
Yeah.
That's just so you know. That's who I argue with. Okay. I said to Mike August, this will make Dawson laugh. He goes, well, they fired that Colbert because he had a problem with Trump. I said, well, but the show was losing money. Nah, it wasn't losing money. I go, I heard it was losing money. Where'd you hear that? This is, by the way, when I told him a year ago Trump was ahead in the polls a year ago. He's like, no, he's not. I go, well, that's what the polls say. Where'd you hear those polls? I go, just the polls, Mike, whatever the polls are. Yeah, I don't believe it. Well, you're just making up polls? I go, no, Mike, they're polls, and he's leading in the polls. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, right. What polls? The presidential polls. He's leading it. So I don't know. Okay, that's all I'm telling you. So he goes, $40 million. Get the hell out of here. I go, I don't know. That's what I heard. Where'd you hear that? I go, I don't know, everywhere. That's all I hear. Yeah, right. Who's saying that? Fox or whatever? I go, I don't know. That just seems to be the answer. I don't know. Nah, that's bullshit. It's making money. They just they're scared of Trump. So I go, I don't know. That's what I read. I just read in all things that it's like losing like $40 million a year. He goes, if it loses $40 million a year, do you think they would have canceled it 10 years ago? I go, yeah, Mike, I'm saying now. I don't say it's always no one ever said it's lost 40 million every year since the day of conception. They're saying advertisers and ratings have sloughed off and now it's losing money. No, 5 years ago it was making. I'm not. By the way, do you think that's what I'm saying? Answer is who knows. We're having an argument. So those are who I argue with, by the way. But yes, that's what I'm saying. It's lost $40 million since day one. And they just kept it on for a decade as a loss leader. All right. So they're not putting poop inside that. All right. Let it out to the dog.
Alone, dogs and cats are responsible for an estimated 64 million tons of CO2 each year, according to a 2017 UCLA study, most of it tied to what's in their food bowl, an issue that eco-minded companies are now trying to figure out.
Human-grade pet food is problematic.
It's a dog food commercial.
It's kind of obvious because it tends to have more meat. Chilled pet foods, they're going to be much more costly environmentally and otherwise to package and to transport.
Turns out one of the most climate...
All right, stop for a second.
Get fresh pets.
Did he say human-made?
Yeah, human grade.
Human grade
he's saying
pet
that like
food.
having good quality dog food is better for the environment than.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, because like I said, the carbon footprint of those factories that make the dry food is significantly higher than just chopping up a cow.
All right, all right.
Is actually the most familiar, dry kibble with low meat content. With new technology and research, that kibble can now be made with a better source of protein, insects.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I think he's saying the opposite. I think he's saying the human grade dog food uses up more, is worse, and the kibble's better because now the kibble can be made with grubs.
Yeah. Oh, now you mean? I'm
I don't know. Go back.
Paradigm.
I just want to hear what he had to say one more time. Sorry, I may be dyslexic here. This guy. All right, here we go.
Human-grade pet food is problematic from an environmental perspective. I mean, it's kind of obvious because it tends to have more meat. Chilled pet food.
So
I didn't understand.
This now sound like Mike August.
I know.
Like, what?
Otherwise,
but now we're going to make it with insects.
Turns out one of the most climate-friendly options is actually the most familiar, dry kibble with low meat content. With new technology and research, that kibble can now be made with a better source of protein, insects. Now that I have your attention, we're not talking about just any insects. It's not like they're pulling ants or cockroaches off the street. These food companies are using very specific insects.
I mean, your first thought is like,
hold on, pause it there for a second. What is this reporter's name? And is she the one who got dispatched at Daytona? Randy Kay. Was this the bitch from CNN that got dispatched at Daytona Beach during COVID to report back into Anderson Cooper going, there's people laying on the ground, but they're not socially distanced. Look, this couple's walking, they're holding hands. Is that the same nutty bitch? Because I want her old ass fired. Because somehow she reminds me of that fucking shrew cow who was reporting back to disgusted Anderson Cooper, who couldn't believe that Americans were let on the beach during COVID, and then showed B-roll of people walking alone on the beach, which is exactly the safest place and thing you do. You run this, you can look for that.
Insects. It's not like they're pulling ants or cockroaches off the street. These food companies are using very specific insects.
I mean, your first thought is like, ew, but at the same time, insects provide a really solid source of protein.
Yeah.
They would tolerate it actually very well. Just like it's well tolerated by human beings. It's just the idea of getting over the idea of where it comes from.
Several pet food companies are using insects. One of these companies, Yora, says the insects they use take up only a fraction of the land needed to raise cows or chickens.
Amount of water used, for instance. So we use 5,000 litres of water to produce 10 kilos of insect protein, whereas you'd need 1.1 million litres of water to produce the same amount of beef.
Switching to insect-based...
Hold on, I got it. But let me tell you something from Slippery Slope Guy. Let me tell you what this is about.
All right.
It's not about the dogs, not about the foods, not about the protein. It's the transition into our Soilent green economy. They're talking about green economies. They don't mean green. They mean Soilent green.
That's right.
You understand? What happens now is you start feeding the pets the insects. And then they go, hey, not too bad. And they go, oh, Rusty's never been in better shape. And they go, see, insects are pretty good for you. And you know what? We have about the same metabolism and innards as the dog, you know. What's wrong? Hey, the next thing you know, we're eating grubs ourselves. Then Rusty dies eventually, and they go, you know what? The carbon footprint of having to bury all these dogs and cremate, why don't you eat Rusty? Rusty, he just ate grubs. You're eating grubs. Now Rusty's dead. You should eat Rusty and not impact the thing. And then you die. And they go, well, you don't want to have him cremated or embalmed or anything. And it's a big environmental impact burying all these people everywhere. What if we started eating Nana instead? Now we're in full Soylent Green. They're starting with the cows and the methane. Now we're going to the grubs. Now the dogs eat the grubs, then we eat the grubs, then we eat Nana. You understand? It goes from cows bad, grubs good, Rusty eats grubs, Rusty dies, we eat Rusty, we eat grubs, we eat each other. It's all spelled out in the movie Soylent Green. You understand? And when they say soil and they mean green movement, they really mean Soylent Green. Mm-hmm. Understand?
I got it.
Understand? And this is going to fucking thank Bill Gates for all of this. This is where we're going. Understood?
I got it.
Was that Charlton Heston?
I believe so, yes.
It was Charlton Heston, and it was like
Soylent Green is people.
Yeah. It was Charlton Heston and Edward G. Robinson. I swear to God. The gangster movies from the 30s and 40s. I swear to God it was him and them. But they foretold this whole Soylent Green movement. That's where we're going.
I mean, I'd like to be part of the Soylent Green movement.
Oh, you will.
That was Edward G. Robinson's final film role.
Yes, that's his final film role.
Ate him after that.
All right, I've seen enough. I've already laid it out, everybody.
I'll be enjoying an Adam Carolla protein bar made of real Adam Carolla.
Yeah. All right. You can go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. I think we're supposed to have... I'm laughing. I do believe there's a show that I'm doing in Portland.
All right.
That should be on that screen, but
the venue's changing.
The venue changed, right? It has changed.
I never got an update.
My last conversation with Mike August was, got to push that Portland show, or at the Portland, whatever. He said, look on the website. I don't know. Let's see. Hold on a second. It's all this is what happens. But I blame Mike.
Portland, Oregon. He's coming to town.
Yeah, it's at what comedy club on our website that I think we put up, or I was told we put it up.
Helium.
All right.
Okay. It's on our website, right?
AdamCarolla.com.
Yes.
Okay. There's a part of this where I say to Mike every single week, you somehow got to get this stuff, and he'll go, it's up on the site, and I'll go, okay, but it's not good enough. All right, so Helium, I don't know the dates or anything.
Portland, Oregon, at Helium on August 7th. August 7th.
All right, so until then, you can go to amcroll.com for that. Elaine Culotti and Mayhem saying mahalo.